Hey there. Have you ever wanted to see Jenna Jameson in a Coen Brothers film? Me too. Well, good news for both of us. Both of us? Is only one person watching? Well, good news for all of us. We're going to get pretty close. This is an amazing Jenna Jameson vehicle, the 1995 Wicked Pictures release of a Jim Enright film, Priceless. Peter North is our leading man. He kills it. Peter and Jenna both do such an amazing job in this. Our leads take us on a weird journey, almost a time-traveling journey. Well, here, first of all, let me tell you, it's voiceover driven. Like any good gumshoe noir, it's voiceover driven. Does he refer to women as dames? Of course he does. Does he call someone dollface? Of course he does. Do you not know what a noir picture entails? This film is about regrets. Scratch everything I've said up till now. This film is about regrets. And these two, they jump over these alternate timelines and try to right the wrongs of the past. How many adult films do you know that has that kind of morality busting out the seams? Recognize. I don't have a mic to drop today. But imagine I just did. Stop the tape. Don't stop the tape. You keep rolling. I do have an ulterior motive to doing Priceless. As you may or may not know, Jenna could use our prayers right now. She's in the hospital. She's not feeling good. She's getting well wishes. She's happy. But she's still not completely on the mend. If any of you are so inclined to prayer, whether that be who knows what, I don't know what you do. Send some good vibes out to Jenna. Direct them to her and her family. Well wishes. From Jason and all of Barefoot, I can only speak for us, but I know you have a legion of fans. I know you can feel it. You've already mentioned it. Here's some more for you. Here's a PG-rated version of Priceless that we can pass around to all our friends and family. All right, let's watch it. They cut the music off. They turned the house lights on. That's my cue to stop talking. I am Jason from Barefoot. This is Squeaky Clean Adult Films. I also do a post-film discussion, so hop in at the back. We'll discuss a little more. Enjoy!
1996, Los Angeles, California. It used to be said that dreams come true in this town. But these days, dreams come true with too big a price tag attached. Maybe that's why guys like me look as if we belong in the past. Name's Price. Mickey Price. I make a living finding people who don't want to be found. I'm what they used to call a keyhole peeper, gumshoe, private eye. These days I don't care what they call me, just as long as they call me. And lately they haven't been. Since the bank foreclosed on the dump in the valley I called my home, I had no place to hang my hat, except for that overpriced dirt hole of an office on Cahuenga Boulevard. It had a long tradition of private dicks in it, or so the landlord told me. That was his excuse for charging what he charged. I was paying for tradition, he said. Well, excluding his office space, I suppose some traditions are worth paying for. Angela was a love in my life, which probably said something about my life. She was a nice kid.
I got your ad out of the paper. It says investigations for the right price.
As in Mick Price, that's me. Miss...
Brent. Samantha Brent.
Have a seat, Miss Brent. Now, let me guess. You have a husband that spends too much time at the office, except when you call the office, and he never answers.
No, actually, I'm not married.
So, if you don't have a cheating husband, what do you need me for?
Well, I need you to prove I didn't kill my boss. The cops say I did it.
The cops say a lot of things. I take it you're out on bail.
Yeah.
How much money do you have left?
Well, that's the catch. I could only pay you if I'm found innocent. Are you a gambling man, Mr. Price?
I got up this morning, didn't I? But a case like that could take some time. Let me check my calendar. Yeah. So, tell me about the dead man.
His name's Ted Masters. I worked for him for about 6 months. He was promising me a big promotion. But it turns out he was promising that promotion to someone else.
Of course he was. And he wanted to see which person wanted the position the most. I take it you came in second.
Tried third. But I found out he promised the promotion to Jacqueline White. And my good friend Rachel is now on her team.
Jacqueline White?
Yeah, she had a job equal to mine at the company. She wasn't very good at it.
And what about that other girl you mentioned to me, Rachel?
Rachel Hart. She was a good friend of mine. We lived together for a while, and I even got her a job at the company. She was supposed to be my assistant. That was the last time anybody saw him alive. I waited outside for Rachel and Jacqueline to tell them how horrible I thought their actions were. And Jacqueline just laughed at me.
And Rachel?
She really didn't say anything, so I left.
And did they leave too?
Yeah, we all left at the same time, but in different cars. Any one of us could have come back, but the police believe it was me.
What the hell are you doing back here?
The next day we found out he'd been shot. The coroner's report said that he died within an hour of when we left.
And it was your name the cops pulled out of the hat first? You don't seem to be too broken up about this.
Should I be?
You will be if they hang the murder on you. Look, I'm going to check these other two girls out, see how they figure into this.
They had everything to gain by letting him live.
Well, the way you make Masters sound, I wonder. Sounds like a lot of people would have wanted him dead.
So exactly where do you start?
Easy. I start with the person who shed the most tears at his funeral.
Well, Jacqueline White did a lot of crying that day.
Doesn't surprise me. But I bet you your eyes stayed as dry as they are now.
I did all my crying long ago.
In your other life?
You tell me.
I usually didn't take a job without a retainer. But I figured that perfume she let me get a sniff of was as good as a few 20s in my pocket. My first stop was the apartment that Samantha had once shared with Rachel Hart. It was the sort of building in Hollywood where pretty girls might live. It was also the sort of place that wouldn't have a guy like me as a tenant. The other tenants might complain. Pretty girls get nervous around private eyes. We see through their games too easily, and they see through ours. Must be expensive living here all alone, Miss Hart.
I get by.
I'm surprised you didn't find a roommate when Samantha Brent moved out. Someone like maybe, Jacqueline White?
What are you trying to imply, Mr. Price? I would do anything for Samantha, Mr. Price, but I also believe in doing for me. My actions that day didn't cause her any harm.
Really?
We lived together for 6 months.
I'll see you in court, dollface. Rachel Hart was right in noticing that I had a funny look on my face. Something about Samantha Brent was getting to me. I had dismissed it earlier as just being good perfume. But now I knew it was more than that. There was a little bell ringing in the back of my head that told me that I had met her before. I usually didn't forget a face like hers. But maybe I had a reason to. You'll like Madame Ruka.
You didn't tell me she was a palm reader.
Oh, it's just a trick she does to pay the bills. But what she's going to do with you is no trick, trust me.
I really don't want my fortune read. It's not what I came to you for.
But you do need help in remembering certain things. You said it yourself. A man hurt you once. Let's find out who.
Mickey, so good to see you. You don't come visit me enough. How long has it been?
About 2 years, the Hurley brothers case. Madame Ruka helped me crack the case by helping me finding a murder weapon.
I had to touch Harley's hands, and I saw it all. The murder weapon, and where he had buried.
Yeah, 2 brothers, they fell in love with the same woman, and when she got snuffed out, they accused each other. One of them came to me for help.
Oh, and you were able to prove it was the other brother, huh?
Well, actually, it was the brother who came to me for help that was the guilty one. Biggest case I ever had, and I never got paid for it. I hope this doesn't happen with you.
I need you to believe me, Mickey.
Oh, my dear, there isn't much Mickey believe in.
Yeah, I think I know a lot about him. I can't really explain it, but it feels like I've met him somewhere before. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Of course, this way, dear. I'm getting some very clear impression just from touching you. Imagine from another life what has happened goes back far in time, 50 years to the day.
Are you sure? Mr. Masters died only 2 weeks ago. I think Madame Ruka is singing to somebody else's life.
No, it is your life. A different life than the one you're living now. Close your eyes. Trust me. I see what you see. You have reason to be distrusting man. It is a man who lets you down, who lets you suffer for a crime you didn't commit. You trust him to prove you're innocent because you love him, but he let you die.
Are you talking about the future?
No, not the future, but the past. Close your eyes and think about the past.
Not exactly the fine dining you're accustomed to, huh?
When they give you your last meal, make sure they give it to you in peace.
You didn't have to see me.
I didn't shut you out of my life. You shut me out of yours. It was you. You betrayed me.
What are you talking about?
In a previous life, Mickey, you had a chance to save her, and you chose not to.
Previous life? Give me a break. I don't go in for this hocus-pocus stuff. I brought Samantha here so we can find out what was blocking her memory.
And I did.
Thanks to Madame Ruka, Samantha now was treating me like I had leprosy. I tried to talk to Samantha as I drove her home, to tell her how silly I thought everything Madame Ruka said was. But all she kept saying was that she needed me to believe. So after I dropped her off, I did the only thing I could. I investigated it further. I pulled some articles from the archives involving a murder from 50 years earlier. The woman found guilty of the crime was named Sandra Paxton. I couldn't deny it. She had an uncanny resemblance to Samantha Brent. That bell in the back of my head started ringing all the louder. The article said that the surprise witness against Sandra Paxton was Private Detective Michael Hill. It had been rumored that he had been her lover, and that Mrs. Paxton was counting on Mr. Hill to be her alibi. Apparently, he didn't come through.
Mickey, where is your pretty young lady?
Oh, Madame Ruka, it's not her time to take a trip down memory lane. It's mine.
You wish I do a reading of you? I didn't think so you believe in it.
Well, time changes a fellow, you know.
Very well, but you have to wait. I'm with the customer.
Okay.
Now, where were we?
Well, last time I was here, you told me that I was going to come across some money, and you were right. I just inherited a small fortune.
But will you live to enjoy it, Sidney? You know, bachelors don't live as long as married men.
Well, you know, I have been arguing with my mother that I think it's time that I, move on.
How old are you, Sidney?
33.
And you live still with your mother? Perhaps this is why your lifeline is so short.
You know, Mother really doesn't like to travel and stuff like that, and she's definitely terribly ill.
You will not take this trip with your mother.
No?
You will meet a woman. A dark-haired woman.
Ooh. Gosh. And I'm going to meet her today? Ooh, I can hardly wait.
Then don't, Sidney. Why wait any longer?
Ooh.
My working gets so intense sometimes.
So I take it you saw a happy future in that crystal ball of yours.
We make our own happy future, Mickey. What about you? How will your future be?
That depends on how my past has been. I want you to take me back, like you did with Samantha. She said she saw me in 1946. If that's the case, I gotta see it.
Then we'll see it together. Come with me. Now close your eyes and concentrate on what I say, on the sound of my voice. You always knew you were a man out of time. Now you understand why. Go back, Mickey Price. Go back 50 years, and you will discover who you truly are.
Enjoying the party?
Yeah.
So, are you a friend of my husband's?
Impressive. Renting out the swankest nightclub in town for a birthday party? Your husband has class, Mrs. Paxton. And good taste from looking at you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, he doesn't have eyes for me.
Well?
Yeah, she's Darla Mintz. She's his secretary. But I have other names for her. Anyway. So if you're not a friend of my husband's, why are you here?
I work for him. Your husband thought you might need a bodyguard, so he called me. I'm a private dick by trade.
Why would I need a bodyguard?
So no other guys get fresh with you, if you know what I mean. Good-looking dame like you must have every guy in town after her.
I don't think I like your manners, Mr. Price.
You'll get used to it.
Well, let me save you some time. I'm not having an affair.
The night is still young, Mrs. Paxton.
I think it's time we danced. I think our guests are going to think that we don't trust one another.
Well, we mustn't let them think that. They might think you have something going on with your assistant over there.
She seemed to fit well into that life of hers, with that millionaire husband. But something told me she wasn't meant to be there, and she wouldn't be there for very much longer. I wasn't doing my job, but the woman got to me. That quick, like it was meant to happen.
In that life, and in this one, Michael, as if were meant to happen. Tell me more. See it as it were only yesterday.
We got to know each other. I loved her. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. But she already promised herself to another man.
So you find her guilty?
She didn't love me. She was just using me.
You're sure about that?
I was. Back then. In the court case, Darla Mintz claimed she left the room, leaving Harold Paxton alone. Sandra Paxton claims she walked in to see her husband and Darla together, but that she walked out after that. The police didn't buy it, and unfortunately neither did I. Until that last time I saw her in her jail cell. You killed him, didn't you?
I'll see you in another life.
After that day, I knew she didn't do it. She was innocent of the crime. And I let her die in the gas chamber for a murder she didn't commit.
And what became of you?
I don't know.
Would you like to find out?
I don't want to remember anymore. Not now. I returned to my office. I had to sort some things out in my head. How I felt about that girl, Samantha Brent, and more importantly, how I felt about the other one, Sandra Paxton. I put a call into my landlord. The one who told me once my office had a long line of private dicks in it. I asked him to check his records, about 50 years back. He didn't even have to look. He remembered the name of the first dick to rent this office space. It was Michael Hill from 1944 through 1948. 1 year after they executed Sandra Paxton, Michael Hill drank himself to death, right at the desk where I was sitting. I spent the next few days following Jacqueline Enright, trying to learn all I could about her. I looked into her past. Then finally, I was able to predict her future. Time for some answers, precious.
I have nothing left to say to you.
Well, I have something to say to you. You and your girlfriend.
I told you, I'm not friends with Samantha anymore.
I'm not talking about Samantha. I'm talking about your other girlfriend, Jacqueline White. Come on out, Jacqueline.
You're wasting your time.
Wasting time? What's a little more time? I've waited 50 years.
Okay, you guessed right. I am here. So what does that prove?
Doesn't prove anything. See, the way I get it figured is, you two became lovers, and you had Masters killed.
Why would we? He promised me the job and Rachel was going to be my assistant.
He just said that so Samantha would give in to his advances. And you found out about it, so you got rid of him. Company still operates, and he was giving you the gravy position. I'll find out if you two killed Masters. I'll do now what I should have done in another life. Look familiar?
What, the alley?
It's the back entrance to the Stork Club. Harold Paxton was killed there in 1946 by his lover, Darla Mintz. She found out he wasn't going to leave his wife after all, so she flipped out.
And how do you know that?
I found some things out in another life. Michael Hill tried to write Sandra Paxton off, but he couldn't. So he dug until he got the goods on Darla Mintz. But by then it was too late. This alley is where Michael Hill and Sandra Paxton almost became lovers. It took 50 years, but we finally had our chance to be together. Madame Rucker was right. If you don't get it right the first time, then you have to keep coming back until you do. This time we did.
What did you think, guys? This is a beast. This is a long motion picture. There's so much narrative storytelling. This film is 99 minutes long. Cut out the hanky-panky, and we're left with almost 27 minutes of exposition. Damn. Damn. Love it. I love it. I try to find the good in all these pictures, and in this one, I'm having to sort through the good. There's too much good. Well, I'm not complaining. I'm celebrating. Jenna Jameson, the original heartbreaker. I knew about her heartbreaking ways way before I even knew who she was. Just because of a picture my brother had, and you could see her heartbreaker tattoo. But it was way before popularity had sunk in and she became everyone's favorite. Misty Rain, we love her. She's in this. Amazing job. Sophia Ferrari kills it. She's a fortune teller. Hey, we just did Taboo 6. A lot of fortune telling going on. here at Barefoot lately. Ms. Ferrari plays Madame Ruka. I'm pretty sure they sing about her in a Sublime song. So this is a midweek drop. It's not a Sunday new one. So as you may or may not know, we got 101 films pulled from our channel a couple months ago. We're about a quarter of a way of getting them all back out. So I read they're all still just privatized, so I can use that as a portion of my notes. My first line I wrote about this is not enough Jenna. And I was like, what? This is a Jenna Jameson vehicle. And then I realized, oh, there is a lot of non-Jenna. But there's a good amount. I don't know what I was squawking about. Thanks for watching. Please, if you feel so inclined, please do send some well wishes Jenna's way. I'm going to, and I guess that's all I can speak for, but I suggest you do as well. This is number 32 of 101. We're going to seem like, to someone who doesn't know us, you're going to look at our channel, you're going to think, oh, that's all they do is Squeaky Clean Adult Films. If I can get my super grind on, then I'm going to release 6 a week. And I just want to bust these all out. Once our whole back catalog's out, then we can go back to regular programming, random art projects on Fridays, Squeaky Clean Adult Films on Sundays, and art vlogs on Tuesdays. Wicked Pictures, Jim Enright. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Stop the tape. Quick reminder, we do have that PayPal donate button now, so if you feel so inclined, sun's out, guns out, women be shopping. What? I think my teleprompter's broken.